There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake Labarge, when I cremated Sam McGee. Now, Sam McGee was from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. Why he left his home down south to roam round the pole, God only knows. He was always cold, but the land of gold seemed to hold him like a spell, though he'd often say in his homely way that he'd sooner live in hell. And one Christmas day we were mushing our way over the Dawson Trail. You talk of your cold through the parka's fold, it stabbed like a driven nail. If our eyes would close, then our lashes froze till sometimes we couldn't see, and it wasn't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam McGee. And that very night, as we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, and the dogs were fed and the stars overhead were dancing heel and toe, he turns to me and, "Cap," says he, "I'll cash in this trip, I guess, and if I do, I'm asking you won't refuse my last request." Well, he seemed so low, I couldn't say no. Then he said with a sort of a moan, "Oh, it's this cursed cold, and it's got right hold till I'm chilled clean through to the bone. Yet it ain't being dead, it's my awful dread of the icy grave that pains, so I want you to swear that foul or fair, you'll cremate my last remains." Well, a pal's last need's a thing to heed, so I swore it would not fail. We started off the streak of dawn, but God, he looked ghastly pale. He crouched on the sleigh and he raved all day of his home in Tennessee. And before nightfall, a corpse was all that was left of Sam McGee. There wasn't a breath in that land of death, and I hurried, horror-driven, the corpse half hid, but I couldn't get rid because of a promise given. It was lashed to the sleigh, and it seemed to say, "You may tax your brawn and brain, but your promise true, it's up to you to cremate my last remains." Well, promise made is a debt unpaid. The trail has its own stern code. In the weeks to come, though my lips were dumb, in my heart how I cursed that load. And the long, long night by the lone firelight, while the huskies round in a ring howled out their woes to the homeless snows, God, how I loathed that thing. And every day that quiet clay seemed to heavier and heavier grow, and all I went through, the dogs were spent and the grub was getting low. The trail was bad and I felt half mad, but I swore I would not give in. And I'd often sing to the hateful thing, and it hearkened with a grin. Till I came to the marge of Lake Labarge. A derelict there lay. It was jammed in the ice, and I saw in a trice it was called the Alice May. I looked at it. I thought a bit, then I looked at my frozen chum. Then, "Here," said I with a sudden cry, "is my crematorium." Some planks I tore from the cabin floor. I lit the boiler fire. Some coal I found that was lying around, and I heaped the pile higher. Oh, the flames just soared, and the furnace roared, such a blaze you seldom see. And I burrowed a hole in the glowing coal, and I stuffed in Sam McGee. Then I made a hike, for I didn't like to hear him sizzle so. And the heavens scowled, and the huskies howled, and the wind began to blow. It was icy cold, but the hot sweat rolled down my cheeks, and I don't know why. The greasy smoke in an inky cloak went streaking down the sky. I don't know how long in the snow I wrestled with grisly fear, but the stars came out and danced about her. Again I ventured near. I was sick with dread, but I bravely said, "Well, I'll just take a peek inside. He should be cooked, and it's time I looked." So the door I opened wide. And there sat Sam, looking cool and calm in the heart of the furnace roar. He wore a smile, you could see a mile. He says, "Please, close that door. It's warm in here, and I greatly fear you let in the cold and storm. Since I left Plum Tree down in Tennessee, this is the first time that I've been warm. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The Northern Lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake LaBarge when I cremated Sam McGee.